Welcome to Adhocracy. This is great. Really glad that you're able to come up. Sat down virtually with Dalton and Jeff to just hang out and chat. So it's good to have you. This is great. Jack has done most of the setup with this. It's been a lot of learning for me.
Yeah, there's quite a bit to it.
Yeah, this is I was going for something really simple, and Jack wanted to level it up. So this is good. I really like it, especially these microphones. They're nice. So
Yeah.
So, cheers.
Cheers.
All right. So, do you like being back in Washington after you've spent some time down south?
It's all right. Not kind of itching to get back home, and it looks like I'm going to stay here a week longer than I'm supposed to. So,
Because of canceled flights, or what?
I can't take a dog on a plane because weather. It's supposed to be 45 degrees, and they say it's too cold. Or I think they're just sliding everything because of all the cancellations. And
So the cargo area in the plane gets too cold for your dog, basically?
that's what they're saying. But I would sign off that he's like good for 20 degrees. He's a dog. He's fine.
He's a 20-degree dog.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You've seen
That's
us there.
interesting. You texted me about that, but I didn't really fully comprehend what was going on there.
And I try to see if I can fly out to Portland to Dallas and then drive 8 hours, but it's a wrong plane. So after this, I'm going to see if I can drive down to like San Francisco and then fly to Texas and then drive.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know. That's what I'm thinking right now.
That's...
If not, I'll be at the Everett plant working with a loaner crop top. So
We can come hang out in the old area. You know, we got some empty desks right now. So
yeah.
Yeah, so one of the main reasons I wanted to bring you on is because we have a history of doing, a lot of fitness stuff. Kind of the little Happy Little Burpees crew with Dalton and Jeff and a few other people who came in and out, but you were kind of one of the other mainstays. I don't think I've ever asked you, but what was your fitness before kind of doing the little fitness thing we did? Were you active much at all, or was that kind of the start?
Well, I haven't been active since really high school. I was really active, a little bit active in college, but that's just like more motocross. And that's really all I did.
So your body was moving, but not cardio?
Yeah.
So like what kind of activities were you into then?
High school or?
Yeah, sure. High school.
I did cross country, wrestling, a lot of mountain biking. I was always up in the hills, mountain biking, getting lost.
Okay, so you did a fair amount. So you did cross country. So that is at least something similar to what we were doing.
Yeah. Did some easy 6-milers and then lots of 5Ks.
Okay.
Like every other week, it seemed like.
Yeah, that sounds like cross country.
Yeah.
So what about college?
Just motocross and a little bit of mountain biking. I did one mountain bike race, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah, you were starting to get into mountain biking again, right? What was that be?
COVID.
Yeah, right when COVID.
Yeah. I signed up for a whole bunch of events, probably like 10 mountain bike races that year, and I did none.
Did none? Oh, my goodness. Is it still something you're trying to do? Because, I'm assuming you have less mountains down there, right?
What's a mountain?
Well, in my opinion, this is more mountainous than where you're at right now, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Just Snohomish in general has more elevation than all of Louisiana, probably.
Wow. That's another reason I don't want to move to the south.
Yeah.
I like mountains. But so are there any like mountain bike or tracks that you could go ride on down there if you wanted to? I'm assuming there's probably like motocross tracks.
There's a few motocross tracks, but I need to know someone to come with me because you hurt yourself pretty quick out there.
Oh, yeah?
So,
the mountain biking, though, is that like you were going to travel for that, right? It sounded like?
Yeah,
like
I think
the 10 races?
Montana was the furthest. I think I only went to North Oregon and then a bunch of places all throughout Washington.
Okay. And what kind of courses were those? Are they strictly downhill?
Downhill and endurance, enduro races. enduro races, you do like you have 4 timed sections, and you have to get from point A to point B by yourself, and then B to C as race, and then you have to go C to D, and so on and so forth. So you have to hike a bike, and then you race the bike, hike a bike, race the bike, hike and race.
That's,
so you only get timed on the downhill sections.
Okay, well.
So you just take your sweet ass time
cardio,
and get there before the cutoff.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Huh. And how long is how long are the downhill sections?
They're I think usually a couple miles, like 10 minute sections or something like that, 15 minutes. They're probably closer to 10. They're pretty short.
They have big jumps?
I think the Montana one would have, because that's in like a ski park area that they retrofitted for bikes.
Mm-hmm.
The other places, not so much. There might be one big jump or something like that, and mostly technical.
So. I did a little bit of mountain biking when I lived in Wyoming. There was an area near where we lived that had a bunch of just trails set up, and it was literally just loops. It wasn't like a just pure downhill section, so you had to ride up the hill and then down the hill and all of that. But it was fun. I don't know if they had much of what I would call technical, but when you say technical, I'm assuming that's like large rocks that you have to kind of slow down and really work your way through, right?
You work your way through. Most times you don't slow down too much, so you try to maintain as much speed as you can without falling. That's the whole key.
How much time do you have on the course before you go down? Because when you come to those spots, you gotta.
I think you get the day before. You can check out the area and do test runs or test rides.
So you can test ride it?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I never did it, so.
Oh.
But looking into it, you usually go there the day before, kind of map out your lines a little bit and remember as best as you can during the race.
Trying to remember a couple miles of course. I feel like that would be challenging.
Just aim for the highlights. A lot of stuff you just make it work.
Spot that'll either send you off the course into the trees or put your face in the dirt.
I did the Ashland race when I was in college. I think I did like 10 laps down the hill, and then on the race lap I fell down.
Oh no.
It was just a flat corner that was just a dust bowl, and I just slid out there. I think I still got 4th place, but I wasn't in like the high end of the competition. I think I was just amateur or something like that. I don't remember what class I did. No.
Still, that'd be. I don't know. I really liked mountain biking. I started doing it in college. I never did it like competition or anything. It was always just grab my bike, go to the base of a trail, and just ride up and back down. So, have you been up to like Stevens?
I've done Stevens Pass a bunch.
Yeah.
Bellingham, Issaquah.
And that you just ride the lift up and then just come down?
Oh, Stevens Pass, yeah.
Yeah.
It's super easy.
Yeah? Well, that's good. I mean, it's supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
Don't have to hike up. How do you get the bike on the lift?
Every other lift, they change it out from the ski lift or the seats to a mountain bike rack that you kind of just throw your bike on.
Oh.
So.
Okay, so you did mountain biking, high school, college, and then after that, you didn't really do much fitness, cardio stuff until we pulled you out to the baseball fields?
Yeah, more or less. I was hitting a weight I didn't really like, so I needed to drop it back down.
Yeah.
I think I was pushing 185, and I didn't like that number.
No. Where are you at now?
I don't know. I haven't weighed myself. I think I'm like 165. I'm still heavier than I should be for what I'm doing.
Okay.
So.
All right. Okay, so then you came and joined the Happy Little Burpees. We had you were running with us for like 2 or 3 years, wasn't it? I think it was. When did you start? Because Jeff and I started in like 2015. Dalton joined in 16, so that would be about 17, I think is when you came on.
Yeah, I was thinking I did at least 3 years.
That sounds right then. 17, 18, 19. Yeah, and you, when you were on that team, I actually really enjoyed watching you like get better, because I remember the first day you came, you were just like absolutely dying, and now you're off getting ready to do these like super intense races, and you were placing very well, like first place in age groups and stuff, and the Spartans and all that. So, it was a lot of fun to kind of have that group and watch everybody progress. Everybody had a great success story, but I think yours was kind of the most like, because I know you're really competitive, where you were in a spot where you started off at a spot where you probably wouldn't have placed anywhere near where you did, and now you were, you ended up. I knew you had a couple races at least where you were first place in your age group. So
yeah, I've had quite a few. I think honestly, 4 or 5.
Were they all here in Seattle, or were some of those traveled?
I got one in Nashville, but I didn't stay to get the medal on that one. But
did you have to make your flight or something?
No, I had to drive, I think, 8 or 9 hours so I can work the next day.
Gosh.
So.
Okay. That's intense.
Yeah.
So, so then after, like, are you still doing Spartans now?
Just the Montana Ultra.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeff talked me into the Ohio Ultra last year and the Nashville one. So
you've done 2 ultras?
No, just the Ohio was the Ultra.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right.
The Nashville was just a super and a sprint, and it was kind of rough.
What was rough about it?
Well, I did the Bigfoot, and then I did nothing for a month and a half, and then I did Nashville.
Explain the Bigfoot.
43 miles in the hills, run around St. Helens.
Yeah, you guys are crazy. Yeah, so just a real high-level refresh on the history here. We had a group going for Spartan, Tough Mudder, working out 2 or 3 times a week at least, and then COVID hit. That kind of got pulled back. Then my back hit, so I kind of pulled back from it, and then you, Dalton, and Jeff all started going nuts and running marathons, and then you decided to go do the Bigfoot, and you've got other big races coming up too, right? That you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, we started out with the Jack and Jill marathon, and our first marathon, I think we're all, except Jeff, are aiming for the Boston Marathon time for our first marathon, just to break it in.
Why not aim big, right?
Yeah, well, if I'm going to train for it, I figure I might as well go for it.
Yeah, it's a good mentality. Nice. So after that, so after the Jack and Jill, what made you want to like up the game? Was it just Jeff like throwing the gauntlet down, or
a little bit? And
he did that a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, the Spartans are getting kind of boring. They're all the same.
Spartans are getting boring. I mean, when you went to a bunch of different venues, though.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't find the new venues more interesting?
There's not much to it. I don't know. You run around like a 10-acre field, and then there's some obstacles throughout it. Montana's fun. It's interesting.
Yeah, because you got the mountain right there.
Yeah. I kind of like the Ohio one. The Ultra I did up there, it's different.
What was different about it?
So on like the Beast, you usually can just go all out and you'll be fine. You don't have to have any strategy. You just go.
Mm-hmm.
The Ohio, you had to kind of pick your battles and say, how hard do I want to go on this obstacle or that obstacle, because you have to do it again. You have to go.
So it was a 2
You have to do 30 miles, yeah.
So it was 2 laps, but did they also have little like breakouts that were ultra only?
1 breakout on the first lap, and that was it.
Did they have extra obstacles on
it? Yeah, there's a log carry, and I think they got rid of another section where you did like the 2-hand carry thing or something.
2-hand carry? I don't remember 2-hand carry at any of the races.
They had a couple carries, and we got rid of both of those, and then a couple miles on the second loop. I can't remember what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah,
it's crazy doing all that. So, and then the ultra. Do you think you're going to do more ultras after Montana?
Well, I mean, I have the ultra before Montana, the 50 miler, and Page, Arizona.
This is why I want to talk to you. Like, your schedule is like, so the 50 miler. What's that one?
Antelope Canyon. It's northwest corner of Arizona. It's more of a scenic run. That's why I kind of picked that one.
Okay.
I've been up in that area, but I never was able to get to the Antelope Canyons because you had to make a reservation or you had to fill out a time slot to get into it and do some fees. And this race just kind of goes through that.
Is it a pretty flat race?
I think it's 3,000 feet elevation gain, which honestly, that's not much over 50 miles. So I'm thinking it's going to be pretty flat. I'm not too concerned about hills at all here. So, but it's a big old slot canyon that you run through. It's one of the more famous ones out there, I think.
So do you run down the canyon and then back up, or do you like come up and out of the canyon at all?
It looked like we run down it and then double back a little bit, and then we come up the side. That's what it's kind of looking like from the map. I don't quite know yet. But we have like 3 little scenic things that we see, and I'm almost thinking everything in between is just like flat desert. But
okay.
But you do the Antelope Canyon, and then you go to the Horseshoe Bend on the Grand Canyon, and then you go to Lake Powell.
Wow.
And then you run around Page a little bit to get the 50 miles. So
that does sound cool. So
yeah.
Your start point and end point are not the same, it sounds like.
They're the same.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Huh. Nice. So when is that?
Early March, I think 10 weeks away.
How's the training going?
I haven't done a full week of training yet. But I'm getting in a decent amount of miles. I mean, we got, I think, 36 miles in so far this week.
Yeah. You guys ran, I know you guys have run up, at least up to my house, all the way from down to Dalton. So that's
I think
a good clip. And you guys
13.
added more on the way back, probably, right?
No.
Okay.
I was getting cold. And after going to your place, I was a little bit wet from sweating and then sitting around and everything getting cold. And then you go outside and it's just even worse than before. So
I'll keep my thermostat lower next time you come by. Okay. So, I mean, do you have a pretty like solid, like what are those training plans that Dalton's always talking about the Hal Higdon?
That's all I do.
Yeah.
Dalton tried to do something else on the Bigfoot. I don't know.
So does he have a 50-mile thing that you're following?
He has a 50, I think it's a 50K. Yeah. So I'm just following the 50K. It's close enough. So
50K and 50 miles. So like you're training for 50K, but you're going to run 50 miles.
It'll be fine. That's how I did Bigfoot. And honestly, I was fine on Bigfoot. I just went too slow. So
Went too slow.
I only started cramping at mile 39 or 40, which is really late. So
well, I'm glad you think so.
Usually runs get fun when you like try to do a marathon and you start cramping at like mile 14 or 16. Those are fun.
Yeah, that would be miserable.
Yeah.
Do you have any marathons planned?
I did, but they canceled it, so it's only half marathon. It's the Rock and Roll New Orleans.
Okay.
So I convinced one person in my new group to do the 6K. Then all of a sudden a bunch of old people, more senior engineers in our team decided to do it as well. And so I think there's a crew about 6 or 7 doing the 6K. And
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you moved
10K.
down and you started up your own little workout crew down there. I'm assuming it's primarily focused on these distance runs.
I'm just stealing what you had. I'm doing more Spartan training, carrying buckets, doing lunges, bear crawl, and all that fun stuff.
Nice. So how did you convince people to get out there with you?
Well, one person in my group said he wanted, I don't know, he wanted to better himself or something like that. And I was like, I can make a little training program if you want to join. Then I guess he talked to some other people and they decided to join too. So
sounds similar.
Yeah.
'Cause that's basically what I did with Jeff, and then Jeff brought Dalton in.
Yeah. Except I think the mean age for the other people he talked to are probably 50, 55.
You know,
it's up there.
They're out there sweating together, so that's the important
I'm
thing.
impressed with them. So
that's good. That's good. What like, is there like a setup anywhere similar to what we have? Is it that you have like a rec center that you go to, or?
there's a little outdoor section that has a little paved path that's a quarter mile.
Mm-hmm.
So usually do a set of 4 or 5 different exercises and then do a loop and do it until I say it's time.
Yeah, that was the recipe. Yeah, that was the recipe. Are there any hills?
I found a little levee sprint. It's maybe 10 feet.
Hey, you know what?
Maybe a little bit more.
Repetition. Yeah. Nice. So, like you said, you got buckets. Anything else you guys have down there?
I made a little thing for your wrists and
the wrist roller.
Yeah, and that's really about it. I need to get the slosh pipes. I have a leftover PVC pipe from my old owner. I just need to get some caps for it and figure out how much water you put in yours and go from there.
Yeah, those were. I think I overmade mine with using those black pipes, but yeah, just like halfway or like. So I did 2 different. I had the same 2 of them that were the same length. One of them I made half full, and the other was like 2/3 full. And I don't know. I feel like even going less, like down to 1/3 full, would give it more of the like herky jerky slosh. So I mean, it kind of depends on what you want them to be, because I always thought you put the water in there and you get the slosh from side to side to really activate your core, make sure you're getting all your balance going on. But then if you want to have something heavier, then you use that for the full tube. So that was that. There you go. There's my full rationale as to what I was doing with those. So
I just thought you put like a gallon or 2 on it. I didn't know you could fill it half full.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It was. I'm pretty sure I did like half and 2/3 on the 2 different ones. The green one, the beast one was the heavier one, and then the blue super one was the halfway. So
yeah.
Yeah, that was any time I got those Boeing bucks, I would just go to Home Depot and just go buy something and try and make really cheap gear. So it worked out well.
Yeah. That's kind of how to make a spear, and that thing's working pretty good. It's really just a copy of what the Spartans did.
Yeah.
You get a rake handle without anything in it. Then you buy a 13-inch metal spike, basically a big-ass nail. You cut off the head of the nail and I just used some caulking and just jammed it in there.
That's so much simpler than what I did. Yeah, I bought one of those Spartan bucket kits, which admittedly having that rope to climb was nice once you can find a place to get the rope high enough to be able to climb on it. I know Jeff liked having that because he could actually practice on the rope, but he struggled with that for long.
Yeah, no.
Do you have Tough Mudders down there?
I think Florida does. I don't know about New Orleans. I don't really care for Tough Mudder, honestly.
Yeah, I know. I'm just that was like my gateway drug for OCRs was Tough Mudder. So just curious, but I'm assuming it should be down. But I think the Florida one, I thought I saw some marketing on that where they were going to have a joint Tough Mudder Spartan event down in Florida, which I have no idea how that would work out. I mean, they're owned by the same company now.
That was early December. I was signed up for the Spartan. I didn't do it because I didn't want to drive 10 hours. It sounded like Mina did it, and it sounded like they had 2 separate obstacle courses. One was Spartan, one was Tough Mudder. It didn't sound like they interlooped them or...
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So it was literally just like 2 events that were side by side?
That's what I heard.
So basically it was a trial run for Spartan to see if they could use their volunteers to do 2 races instead of 1?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Okay.
So
no, I've always been big on Tough Mudder. I think it's a good way to... I mean, for me, it was a way a fun goal to put on the calendar, to be able to have, a reason to go out and keep staying in basic shape, still be able to do a pull-up, still be able to, run for a decent clip. So I liked him for that, but I can understand if you're doing, these longer 50-mile races, that it would be a little less intense. So makes sense. I'm just trying to, have you thought about like offering it to the people you're running with, or is it just going to be more of a, like, we're here just to train for this without any like specific goals other than we're just getting more fit?
I put the 10K out there and they went for it. And, they all kind of followed one person. They all went for it.
Well, there you
if
go.
I would have talked to them a little bit different, I probably said, you guys can maybe think about the 10K. You guys probably should think about the 5K. But they're all doing the 10K, so do or die.
Have you had, I'm assuming you haven't had any races with them yet?
No, not yet.
Have they done previous races?
Not for a long time, I would say.
Okay. But I mean, do they have like a basic idea of like, do you do longer training runs, I guess? So they have some idea of what they're getting into, or is this just like someone who's, basically done, ran like a couple 800s at the track, now signing up for a marathon, kind of a wake-up call?
It's probably closer to the 800s right now.
Yeah.
I did do a 2.5 mile run with most of them, and they were feeling it afterwards, but they just got to learn to go slower.
That was something I had to learn many times. Yeah, and a 10K, that's, I don't know, I feel like that's really, they're really going for it, so that's good for them. So
yeah, I don't like the 10K or 5K. They're too quick. 5K
just getting warmed up.
5K is just like a full-on sprint the whole time, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, for me growing up, it was the 800 race is what I really did not like, the 2 laps around the track, because that felt like a legit full-on dead sprint. But I mean, I've never done the longer races, so I can see how you could extrapolate that out.
Yeah, well, I never trained to go fast, so when I have to go fast, it's a sprint. I hate it.
Yeah, you feel it pretty quick.
Yeah, I did the 5K a week after the Bigfoot. I did 0 running between the Bigfoot and that race, and I still got like a 20:10, 20:12, 20 minutes, 12 seconds. I didn't break the 20-minute mark. But it was
how long of a race?
Just a 5K.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a little bit slower than a 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dalton would probably beat you on that, but
Dalton's
always been a lot more of a...
I also have humidity down there, so 100% humidity, and I think it was like 70 degrees in the morning or 75. It was muggy.
So how does it feel running up here then? I mean, obviously it's cold right now, but...
Yeah, it's just really cold.
Just really cold. Okay.
I don't have to drink liters of water every couple miles, so it's a nice change.
So do you have anything else, like you haven't put anything on the calendar for like your crew other than this 10K, and you're just going to kind of see how that goes and then go from there?
I was thinking about looking for a Spartan, the sprint or something like that, but I'm not sure where there is one around us. Last time I looked, there's nothing nearby.
New Orleans, like back east, there's so many of them.
New Orleans used to host one, and they don't do it anymore. So I'm not quite sure.
Well, I mean, it might just be the COVID fallout too. I know that they cut back on a lot of races because of COVID, and they would, kind of consolidate their races to the more of a regional area. So maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe when it opens back up a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I should look for something else though.
So you're down south and you're building a new garage, right?
I'm finishing the detached garage.
The detached, and it's and you said it was going to be
1,200 square feet.
Oh my goodness! So how many car? I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that. How many car garage is that? Is that like?
I could probably fit 6 in there if I wanted to.
Oh my Lord!
2 this way and 1 that way, or something like that, in each stall.
So is that? What was the main reason for? Did you just want to like up the value of the property? Did you want to like have a place to be able to work? Because I know you're leaning towards doing one of those car kits, right?
Yeah, and I have a shit ton of tools.
So it's storage.
Yeah, right now everything's just scattered, and I don't have a place for anything. It's just wherever it gets set down is its new home right now, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's having that much space I could see being good for that. How many are you going to keep your cars in there? Because did your house already have a garage?
Yeah, it has a 2-car attached. Yeah, and then it has a carport. We keep the cars under the carport. The pickup stays just somewhere in the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got 3 cars?
Right now I have 4. I need to sell the old pickup.
Okay, so you'll definitely have plenty of space then, if you have that big of a garage.
Yeah.
So the car kit, that was something I've been interested in. This is a company that is it basically like a build your own car that they just send you all the parts and you just assemble it in your shop?
They send you like a retrofit kit. You still have to get a donor car where you get most of the parts from. Mm-hmm. And most of the times you use their frame and some of their components, but you have to take like the engine and the drivetrain from this car and implant it into the kit they give you. So it could be like the donor car could be like a WRX, or it could be a Corvette, depending on what the kit is. You just have to find one that's smashed up and cheap. So,
but still functional.
Functional in the areas that you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a good rear end car would probably be the ideal one.
So what kind of a car are you going to make?
I need to evaluate it once I get to that point.
So this is just like a goal, like you want to go make a car, but you're not sure which kit you're going to take yet?
Yeah, there's kits that go from 15 to 20,000 all the way up to you can easily spend 100,000. Easy.
Wow.
And I don't want to go that high, but I'd like to have a fun car, but we'll see.
So is this going to be like what type of car? Is this going to be like a drive it down Main Street slow kind of car? Or is this like a rally car? Or?
It's probably going to be a track car.
Track car. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of tracks in your area?
I know of one. I haven't really looked, honestly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So how many different kits do they have that are like that you're like perusing and percolating on?
Oh, there's a pretty simple kit that's like 20,000 that should be pretty decent, but it's not a supercar. Or I can get like a really good supercar that they claim that it's made some top records for like 60,000. But there's 60,000 one. They're not saying that, showing all the engine work on top of that the people did to get to that place. And I'm sure I would just crash that anyway, so I'm not sure that investment would be a good idea. So
fair enough.
Well, it wouldn't be an investment, but
so rear wheel drive is what you're looking for, as like kind of like a baseline.
I mean, more want like all wheel, or I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, honestly.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
I'm building the detach and then getting the camper, and then it's the kit car, hopefully.
Okay.
So I haven't really spent a lot of time into it. I'd like to do it.
Have you done much racing? I know you said you've done motocross, but as far as like auto racing, have you done that, or is this going to be like your first dabbling? I
did autocross a few times with my little Z3 that I had.
Oh yeah.
And across the sound, Chehalis and Port. I can't remember the place, but it's just right across the ferry from around Kingston.
Okay.
So nice. They had a small little airport that they put out cones, and you did a little slalom course through it, more or less. And then Chehalis had a actual like full on track that we got to drive around on. That was pretty cool. Except the Z3 didn't have the power to get going, and
no,
it didn't have the brakes. They definitely heated up and faded. And
wow,
it's kind of cool to experience that. I haven't experienced that yet. So
that sounds it. Yeah, I've always thought it'd be interesting to go out and do that, but never pulled the trigger on it. So it sounds interesting.
Yeah, it sounds expensive too. So
it does
I don't know.
Expensive.
I'll figure out what kind of kit car I want, but I'm almost thinking if I want to like get into the racing, like get a go-kart. So it's you'll be spending money, but not as much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping it's more linear of size and price. So
Yeah. So are you doing anything special with the garage other than just making it a large space to be able to handle this? Like, is there any, like, you making any kind of a pit or anything in it?
no, I'm not doing too much into it. I have a bunch of woodwork and stuff, metalwork and stuff. I'm thinking of putting a projector screen in there and then having like an 18-foot screen or something like that. Just a big ass movie screen.
Nice. So this is like not just a garage. This is gonna be like not just even a man cave. This is gonna be like a man building, like garage, theater, shop.
And I'd find a way to protect anything in there that I have for the projector so it doesn't get ruined by the dust particles or any of that stuff.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to look into that later. I looked how much the projectors are, and I need to reevaluate what I want to do.
So how far along is this thing?
I've got the hurricane straps down. I've got the electrical a third of the way.
Straps? I mean, obviously they're for hurricanes, but like, what do they do?
You've got to anchor the walls to the concrete. You got to anchor the walls to the rafters, so that usually I think the hurricane winds blow the roof off, and then at a certain point it blows the walls off the foundation.
So like you it's literally like what, metal straps that just come down off of the frames and the walls that just tie into the foundation?
Yeah, you kind of make a load path from the rafters into the concrete. There are little metal straps that you tie off in the metal structures from the rafters to the top plate to the vertical member. Nowadays, they sell these cool 6-inch long screws that you kind of just drive in and call it good.
Yeah.
So I did that in most areas. Some I'm going to have to get metal straps because I can't get the screws in because they're just so big. And then you have to use like 5/8 anchors into the concrete and have this big metal plate that attaches to the vertical member with like 20 nails, and you have to have X amount in certain areas, and I think I did it mostly right. We'll see what the inspector says when he comes sees it. Yeah. I don't know.
You had a storm right when you went down there, right? I feel like you did. Maybe I'm confusing you with Jeff.
Storm or hurricane?
Hurricane.
All right.
I mean, obviously
there's been plenty of storms.
Yes. Have you had rain?
Yeah, I mean, it can rain there 12 inches in a day or afternoon if it wants to.
Wow.
It's kind of stupid. Yeah, we had Hurricane Ida. Technically, our house did get within the eye of the hurricane winds of 100 plus. It did get that close. So.
Wow.
Yeah. We fled to Houston because we kind of saw the path, and it kept on inching closer and closer to our place, and they're like, we probably should leave. And every couple of days they're bumping it up a level from a number 2 to 3, and we think it might be a 4 now. And they're like, yeah, well, we're out.
Wow.
I'd love to stay for a H1 or something like that, or
look up in the eye of the storm and just see the blue sky.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, but the number 4, it's just too much for the first time. So.
Makes sense. Was there much damage to your house?
No, I only lost a gate that I put up recently. I didn't really lose much of anything.
Well, that's good.
I think I spent $50 fixing it.
Was there much damage in your community as a whole,
or? Most of our neighbors, the trees fell down, a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
So I ended up coming down and helping them cut up a bunch of trees. If you drive around the neighborhoods or in town, you'll see some like telephone poles snapped, wires on the ground, trees everywhere.
I can see why you wouldn't want to be around.
Yeah.
So how long were you in Houston?
I think like 5 days, something like that.
In a hotel, or?
I stayed at a friend's place.
Okay.
So I kept an eye on Facebook on their you can find updates from people who stayed there and kind of feel what feel what it's like to see if you want to come back yet or not.
Hmm.
When I chose to come back, luckily the power came on the night before, so I had AC and all that stuff when I got home. And I was pretty lucky.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think about leaving like a webcam, like live streaming, like from the inside of your house when you left?
The power is out. So.
Batteries. I guess your internet would be out too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to see anything. It'd be kind of pointless.
Okay.
So I was able to watch some DOT cams that were still partially functioning as IDA came through. So I watched some of that the night that it was coming through.
Like highway cams?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was shaking like hell, and you can see a lone car driving by. And
do they have, because up here it's just the stills they take every 2 minutes. Do they actually have
video? It was a live feed.
Oh, wow.
The ones I was finding. Most of them were out. I only found like one or two that were still active. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and all the roadway signs, they were all peeled back. They had like 6-inch I-beams that were just split like butter. I don't know.
Wow. So, I mean, other than Ida, have you had any like smaller hurricanes roll through that you weathered, or is it just been that one?
We had a tropical storm come through. I think it went like right or over our house or really close to our house. We've had one tornado within probably 25 miles of the house, and EF0, the smallest that they can record. It sounds like
EF, isn't that the Fujita?
I don't know. I'm thinking they call it an EF0, but it was a small
Fujita, but yeah, because
it was a small
F5 is the highest, right?
Yeah.
I get all my tornado knowledge from Twister, the movie. So
yeah. It wasn't sucking up farms or anything like that, or cows. Good. There was no cow-nado or sharknado. Not this time.
Okay, not this time.
Just alligators.
Okay. Do you have alligators on your property?
No, we've never seen them. I think we're far enough away from the streams that we shouldn't see them.
Okay.
So they leave you be. They don't care. They would go after your pets, though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They look too close to a deer or a coyote. They don't know the difference.
So what have you missed about the Pacific Northwest moving down there?
Some hills and humidity.
The lack of humidity?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had I think it was September, October, November we had the rainiest 3 month, like over those 3 months, it was the rainiest it had ever been for like, I don't know, it was a long time. I feel like it was the most ever recorded. But it was really wet. It was really wet.
I think we recorded our wettest year like at month 7 or month 8 of the year.
Yeah.
For that whole area. But honestly, the last few months has been like really nice. No rain. They call it a drought if it doesn't rain for like more than 5 days. So it's different.
So it rains really often down there then?
Yeah. It'll just rain really quick
like
and be done with. No, when it rains, it rains.
So it's really rain. It's not just the Seattle mist.
It'll come down super hard and it'll go through really quick and it'll be done.
Okay. So kind of just like a deluge, a
brief downpour, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Or it'll just be a long downpour that lasts all night.
It's probably in the daytime. It's probably warm rain though, right? When I was in Alabama, that was one of the surprising things, because we were there for a rainstorm one day and was outside, and the rain was warm. Which, growing up in Montana and then living in the Pacific Northwest, rain is always cold.
I haven't thought about it much, but I think it is
warmer.
Yeah, warmer.
Yeah, it wasn't like bath water, but
it's not like I don't go out there too often. I guess I've done a few runs in the rain, and it's warmer.
Okay.
I just never thought of it.
Nice.
So when are you getting back running?
Oh, when am I getting back running?
Yeah.
Probably never. I mean, so my thing, my back blew up in September of last year, and I was like, about this time last year, I was having trouble just getting out of bed, because I kept trying to go on runs.
Yeah.
And it kept going bad. So then 6 months physical therapy, tried running. My back still blew up again. So I just kind of gave up on all of it for 3 or 4 months. I've pretty much switched to swimming. I do a little bit of strength training at the gym I'm at, but it's all swimming basically now. So
Yeah.
It's been frustrating because, running, it's like, I want to go for a run, put your shoes on and you run out the front door and you can make that work. But with swimming, it's like, got to get your bag set. You got to go to the gym. You got to take a shower. You got to swim, then you shower, and then you come home. And it's a lot more logistics to get going. But it's a lot better than nothing, which is what I had been doing for close to a year. So
yeah. Well, this year is supposed to be kind of our off year because Jeff's doing his thing. But then 2023, we plan to hit it pretty hard.
I don't think I'm going to be able to run, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah, no.
Anytime I have dabbled with going back to running, I just get massive back pain and numbness going down my left leg, basically. So I don't think I'm going to get back to run. I mean, I would love to. And I'll probably test it out every once in a while, but I don't see me getting back to running in the near future. It's something that I'd love to do, but it's just probably not going to happen. So
yeah,
unfortunately. I mean, I'm really thankful for swimming. I was really hesitant to try swimming at first because I figured there'd be a lot of twisting and a lot of core, and there is a fair amount of core, but I figured it would be twisting my lower back and it would just be aggravating everything. It hasn't been too much, so the hardest part has actually been like a breaststroke where your back is arched a bit. If I do that for too long, my back just gets tired and sore, but it's just like muscle tiredness. It's not the kind of the longer lasting nerve pain that I think that's what I'm getting. I'm not sure. So
yeah, well, at least it's working.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the big things that I wanted to improve was my heart rate, because when you're running that much, you get a pretty low resting heart rate. And man, it would come up over the holidays when I ran less, but this last year it went way up. It went up by like 20, 25 beats per minute for resting, which I'm still not like in a like bad spot, but I wanted to bring it back down, and swimming's done that. I'm not down to where I was with running, obviously, but so I think the health benefit is definitely there. So that's good. I don't think they have any Spartan water races, but I haven't looked either. I don't know.
There's the obstacle, but
is there?
Yeah, I think the one in West Virginia, I don't know, it felt like a half mile at least. That killed me.
Oh, you can. I'll come down. You can tag me out. I'll do the water for you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Good luck on getting home. Hopefully that gets sorted out. If there's been so many of those flights canceled, so I hope it goes well.
Yeah, I think I'll be driving more. I am flying, but we'll see. I'll find my way home.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for coming on.
Yep. Later.